Hi everyone, this is Karak from Angry Centaur Gaming, bringing you reviews with no bullshit. Prepare yourself because it's about to get belligerent. Today I'm reviewing The Order 1886, a game that is really a mix of Gears of War, the Underworld series, Excalibur without Patrick Stewart, and inject that kid from Goonies who liked to invent crazy shit. Smash it all together and throw in a hefty dose of seriousness, and you have The Order 1886. So let's get to it. The Order 1886 follows the story of Grayson and his assorted team members as they try to take the battle to the rebels and the Lycans, which are basically like dirtier and less cool versions of the Lycans in Underworld. Control Grayson across a series of levels as you seek to uncover a conspiracy within the ranks, as well as take the battle to the enemy. Graphics are up first. Presentation, presentation, presentation. Remember that because it's going to make a difference as we continue. You see, the game is absolutely rigid in its presentation. Throw the most amazing graphics they can at your face and keep the player aligned to exactly what they want you to see and experience throughout. Its atmosphere is Call of Duty Ancient English Monster Slaying version number 1 in that way. Graphically, the characters look amazing with flowing cloth, fully featured textured faces, and exceptional battle animations. The characters are really a highlight, except for a couple little issues here and there. One of them is the animation blending is outstanding. Poor, with characters jerking and herking through the game world like gravity's on, then off, then on, then off, then on, then off, then on, then off again. At a time in the heat of battle, the game can look far poorer than it should. Additionally, the characters are cursed with Deadeye, which, as most people know, adds a great deal to facial realism normally when it's done right, and this game is really hurt by the lack of it. Color-wise, the world itself is a grim realization of what a real-looking monster-slaying game should look like. There's no high-color blasting going on here. Instead, it's the dark and gray world of Gears, but without any of the neon highlights or crazy color spectrums. It's an odd mix, and though more realistic than, say, Gears or Halo, upon first glance, it can look less visually impactful until you really stop and take it in. Once you do, you stop and look and you see high-resolution textures residing throughout the game, high polygon counts on all the characters, and some insanely natural and soft lighting. The game looks phenomenal. Particle effects in the game that are second to none, with almost every single projectile spewing various effects like their weapons manufacturers said, fuck it, we don't care how much damage they do, they just need to look scary. Every grenade, bullet, or electrical device puts out some kind of smoke and particle, even ones that technically probably even shouldn't, leaving the world feeling dirty and grimy in a way that can't be easily described unless you see it. There's a great give and take to the atmosphere and the graphics in these moments. Enter a tunnel or walkway or small courtyard before the battle triggers, and the area has a serene, depleted look to it. Then fire a couple different weapons, light a few things on fire, and suddenly the world takes on a very different feel, and the emotional resonance changes in accordance with that difference. Where Gears of War was pop and stop, the Order seems to be almost like a laze and gaze, strolling into an area, gazing around, then boom, battle, run, shoot, fire, duck, dodge, and dive and kill, then lazily walk out of the area. It may not be the best looking game ever made, but it actually may be the best looking game ever made. Up next, sound, music, and voice.
Izzy! Are you alright?
Damn it!
God, they're slaughtering them. Ready?
Let's get rid of this scum. Smoke grenades.
Right.
Well, the sound really is amazing, with excellent and deep sound mixing across the board that makes each weapon unique and sing being used. Sound effects rebound across the smallish areas you battle, giving friendly fire and explosions a closer than normal feel. Battles are visceral and tightly packed with atmospheric sounds, just pure excellent on the sound mixing all around. However, the sound director obviously has some kind of deep-set attraction to the sound of air whistling through hairy nostrils. Never in a game has there ever been such random deep breathing in the recordings. It's like listening to a very boring porn movie, and entire sections are nothing but breathing in and out with the slightest nostril whistle you can hear. I don't even want to know what that dude's adult movie collection looks like. Music.
I can do this all day, mate.
Why, you little shit!
The music is actually great, with a fitting assortment of instruments that solidify the game's world's timeline and somewhat realistic but fantastical feel. Though at times a bit too bombastic for what was occurring, the pieces rarely announced that they were playing with any kind of heavy introduction, and instead for the most part they sauntered in, said sup, grabbed a cup of awesome, and let you bask in the warmth of their company for a bit before nodding to you a good night and a cheerio and heading out the door. Voice.
Let's go.
It's about time.
Marquis, you and Lady Grain take that entrance. I'll go through this one and sweep for any remaining escapees.
The voices are done very well, and it's been a long time since a single game came out where I could say I didn't have an issue with anyone's voice, even one of the one-off NPCs. The voices are in the now, meaning instead of sounding like they're reading a book about mating rituals of pissed off monkeys during one of the battles, they actually sound like they are in the battle. Breaths are ragged and deep during moments of rest, and voices come and go as the actors' bodies seem to be put under the strain of real action and battle. Simply wonderful to hear a voice track this good. Their voice actors do a good job of keeping you interested, even if the story doesn't. Gameplay. You know, the game really is a linear shooter with Grayson and his manner of factors, as I began calling his teammates, pipe down a series of bad guy generators and asked to defeat the ever-growing horde of enemies while engaging them with weapons that mostly look like they were cobbled together by a do-it-yourself lightsaber specialist. Luckily, the set pieces are excellent, if a bit samey, and the locations of and various differences between the enemies makes each arena of death a bit of a unique battle all by themselves. However, the gunplay is universally excellent, if very short-lived. So there's no real complaints there either. It's a solid shooter and has some good mechanics. Now, when it comes to the weapons, they all handle perfectly, and nothing feels out of control or overly loose. At times, while behind the sniper rifle, I felt like a full-on badass, kneading enemies' heads lightly with the high-impact rifle bullets and enjoying their exquisite, oh shit, my head is gone animation. Where is it? Oh shit, it's gone. What do I do? Dead. However, the game is heavy as fuck with quick-timed scenes. Now, if you know my past, you know I don't mind them as long as they're lodged within uninterruptible action. The Order handles them a bit more traditionally, with very long movies interspersed with quick-time events, and then later having you occasionally battling bad guys in incredibly long cinematic moments with dozens of quick-time moments for a single battle. It really did feel stretched out. Fun factor. Now let's talk about AI for a moment. Not once did the enemy move in concert to get me out of an entrenched position. Hell, they didn't even do it to get me out of a position that had nothing but an apple cart and their fellow dead bodies as protection. The AI is pedestrian at best, with a fuck you, I'm gonna go it alone line of scripting in its programming that seems to take precedence above all things. Just think. Someone looked at this, turned to his fellow co-workers and said, good enough. Fist bumps and claps to the back followed, as well as a deep dark laugh as the darkness of the Sith Lord known as Good Enoughificus finally corrupted another development team. And it hurts the game tremendously. A game that, had the AI been better and more engaging, would have lofted the title to a far higher level. Even on hard, the enemy vacillates between sidestep at normal walk speed and stand there being shot in the fucking face occasionally, bending at the knees for a good workout before death. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and deep stretch and put you and dead. The Order is a fairly safe shooter with its focus directly on its graphics and less so on its gameplay or story building. Not much of the past or present or even the future is really explained, discussed, or hypothesized. In fact, the game is the most enjoyable if played in that manner. Don't force it, don't waste time, just sort of play. Last but not least, of course, is longevity. Honestly, unless you're an FPS freak who enjoys dissecting levels, I can't see anyone playing this game more than once. It isn't that kind of game. It doesn't back up that desire with heavy world building. Its story is okay, and though its gameplay is good, the enemy AI keeps it from feeling alive on multiple playthroughs. The game's length's been discussed time and time again, and I have to say I had no real problem with it, with most moments of downtime being purely for grabbing dropped weapons and bullets and moving on. So what does the Order do right? Well, you know, graphics are amazing, the sound is really good, the music is excellent, and the voice is frankly just incredible. Also, the shooting gameplay is really good through and through. What does the Order do wrong? It has an atrocious lack of player agency, almost criminal lack of player agency. Also, the AI is really poor. And it has very long breaks in actual gameplay where you're sitting around just watching everybody doing cool shit and you have no part of it. So I rate games on a buy, wait for a sale, rent, or never talk about it again rating scale. This is a buy, but only barely, and only by the skin of its teeth. You see, the main issue here is the overall lack of appreciable time playing the actual goddamn game. In fact, the game quickly becomes like arguing with a younger sibling, always yelling shotgun on the way to the store. You're at constant odds for the best seat. Here, the best seat being the one controlling the damn game. And just as you get comfortable, entire sections of input are once again removed from the gamer and put into the hands of some invisible movie director, and he seems more in love with the story than ever devising a cool way to have you experience it. Luckily, the order still escapes, bruised but not dead, into a buy rating. Remember, as always, you can follow us on Twitter, you can help us out on YouTube or Patreon, or you can just send smoke signals to your pals. Peace out.